Welcome everyone to the Moon Magic weekly tarot readings and the lunar forecast for the week. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, in a moment, I will post a slide for the coming every day, starting from today, giving you a flavour of the lunar energy of the day. And then I will draw the cards and the runes, and then I will move into the 3 different readings that are available for you guys for weekly guidance. I do post every single Sunday. And in fact, I'm going to be doing an Archangel reading once a month associated with the new moon. Now, this week we are literally in the build-up to a very powerful new moon eclipse in Sagittarius next Saturday. In this build-up, I have to say, I think the lunar energy this week is primed for manifestation, which is pretty exciting. There's such a flow through the first part of the week, and then it's kind of like we add passion to the flow. So I think if things are going well for you, they might literally just burst into life. However, I would also say if we are facing challenges, then when we add passion to the flow, that could also feel a little more challenging depending on what's going on in our unique circumstances and of course in the different areas of our lives. So I will post those now, so I will run through the lunar forecast for the week. I do put these daily on Facebook and Instagram, so you can check them out there as well. You could bookmark this page if you think you might want to return to them, and excuse me, any links that I think are relevant, as well as the timestamps, so you can fast forward to whichever reading is really speaking to you, if you know which reading that is, or readings, sometimes it's more than one. I will put all that information in the information box below, as many links as I can think of that are humanly hopeful and helpful to you in some way, shape or form, and the timestamps as well, and I will put them into the comments for phone users. Wonderful friends, thank you so much for joining me. You guys are just awesome. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. You are just amazing. Tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome everyone to the drawing of the cards and the runes. Now today we are going to be using 2 tarot packs. This is the Light Seers Tarot. This is the Aleister Crowley Mirror of the Soul, sometimes known as the Thoth pack. We're going to be using Jamie Sam's Medicine cards and also the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards and our magical runes. So that's the array of cards that we are using today. So let's shuffle and draw. I'm going to move these out of the way a little bit so we have a bit more room. Okay. Ooh, wow, these are really lively today. Very, very lively. Yes. Forgive my silence. I'm often quiet as I draw the cards, but it's just really tuning in and listening, because I'm thinking it's two for this. Some of you may actually have heard that as well. I know you are a very psychic lot, and you very often tune in completely to exactly the cards that we're drawing before we've even either turned them over or know how many we're going to draw. Now, some of you as well who follow my readings regularly may be quite conscious that I'm not actually using any additional guidance for these readings this week. We have a beautiful row of amethyst points. Because we're in eclipse season, I mean, sometimes when I'm walking in nature, something will come through very clearly as additional guidance. Sometimes I will use a different crystal for each reading. But because we're in eclipse season and the energy this week is so primed for manifestation, whether, whatever age or stage we are, in whatever it is that we are manifesting in our world, what I heard today was just to bring the energy of amethyst. It's a master crystal, a master healer, and to bring that energy into every single one of the readings, which is why there's no additional guidance either from the crystals or from the herbs or from trees, plants. Just today, this is what we are focusing on with these master crystals, bringing the energy we need to each of the readings. Now, this is the time when I guess it's about tuning into your intuition, sitting and listening to whichever reading or readings is speaking to you. Align yourself with that. If you need to press the video, please do so. Likewise, if you want to bookmark it, if you think that more than one reading is speaking to you or may be speaking to you and you want to find it easily, if you bookmark the reading, the page, you may be able to come back to it, and also to tune back in with the lunar energy for the week as well. Wonderful, wonderful friends. I will leave you just to tune in with your intuition, and I will see you in the readings. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 1. Let's have a look at our cards and our runes. Our first rune is the rune of breakthrough. Very interesting. And we also have the rune of disruption. This is really fascinating, given that we're in eclipse season and the energy around us is changeable. And the energy this week is that there's a lot that could happen, I think, is the answer. We also have coyote medicine. Coyote kind of suggests that things are going to happen. It's kind of like coyote medicine teaches us to, not to take ourselves too seriously, not to take life too seriously, to be conscious, to be thoughtful of what's going on around us. So let's have a look and see what our tarot cards are showing us. We have a card as well, the oracle cards, bless your past and don't wobble. King of Wands is in reverse. We have the card of failure and the card of power. These are very interesting cards. We have King of Wands again and in an upright position now. Okay. 5 of Swords, 3 of Wands in reverse, the Tower and the King of Wands. And then these cards here, bless your past, don't wobble. First of all, let's just tune in with our runes. I think everything is nicely in view for us here. Okay. The rune of breakthrough. The rune of breakthrough is a rune that, for me, suggests, sometimes it's a light bulb moment. It's like we come to our senses. Sometimes it's indicating that we're about to take a different direction. I mean, literally, sometimes it's like a 180-degree turn. We're going to change course. Now, the rune of disruption is, for me, it's a bit like Uranus, the Great Awakener. It's about radically creating difference. Sometimes Uranus, sometimes Hagalaz is the rune of disruption. Sometimes it's like a gradual coming to our senses. We see something clearly and there's a need to break free from it. But you know, sometimes it's a sudden awakening. You know, with the breakthrough rune, Coyote, I feel like something is about to happen. We've got the card of the Tower as well. Something is about to happen in your world that is going to shake things up a bit. That's what I'm going to say. Now, this is a weekly reading. These readings are about weekly guidance. So we're kind of talking about something that either hasn't yet happened or it's going to happen. Now, if I think of the lunar flow of energy, there's a lot of movement happening this week. There's a real flow of potential creative change, and we are in eclipse season. There's a lot of karmic energy around. Knight of Wands in reverse. This is really interesting. Firstly, I feel something is about to happen. What you're being told here is don't worry about it. It's meant to happen. There's something karmic that is about to take place in your world. And you're being asked to step back and kind of laugh about it. Now, if this is already going on for you, something's happened that's shaken your world a little bit, okay? Just, I want to say play with it, okay? Knight of Wands energy, we're in reverse, and yet we end up with King of Wands in an upright position. Whatever has happened in your world that's turned it upside down, or whatever it is that you're feeling like you want to break free from, or you're letting go of, okay? This reading is asking you very clearly to shift your perception of what's taking place. This is the Coyote energy. So whatever's already happened or is about to happen, when it happens, I want you to go with it. Whatever you're letting go of, it's not a failure. If you're choosing a new direction or you're letting go of something, it's not because it's failed. It's because it was time for you to let go of it. Okay, there's something that's being released here in order to free you up to move forwards. And it's freeing you into a space of very powerful manifestation. Empowerment is really the key here. There's something as well, you know, there's something in this reading as well that's suggesting that other people's perceptions may be negative of a choice and a decision that you're making. That's coming through for some of you, but don't wobble. Don't buy into other people's perspectives. Hold your own. This is not a failure. This card of failure here. You're either perceiving something that didn't work out as a failure and you're worrying about it. And that worry is blocking your ability to see the new horizons that are literally on your doorstep, that are ready and waiting for you. Or other people's perspectives are colouring your view. You know you're letting go of something and you know you're letting go of it because you want to and it's right for you, and yet other people somehow still perceive it as a negative. It's like closing one thing down in order to embrace a new direction. So whatever you are shutting down, whatever you're stopping, whatever you're letting go of, I want to say just let go of it with love, blessings and gratitude for the place it held in your life during the time that it was with you. You are letting go of something and it is right that you let go of it. Now the card of power here. This is really important because you see, what I'm being shown is whatever is coming to a close, whether you have gradually come to your senses and realized you just can't stick it any longer, or it's not right for you, it's a coat you don't want to wear anymore, or something comes along and it radically shakes you up and you think, I can't do this anymore. However we look at it, you're letting go of something is really, really right. But it's something that you invested a lot of time and energy into it. And therefore other people and even yourself, you may have seen it because it hasn't panned out fully as being a wrong direction. It wasn't. It will have served a purpose and it was right for you for a period of time. It's now time to change. The card of power is really, really empowering. It kind of indicates that you are, I mean, it's got a duality to the message here. Sometimes it sort of suggests that you are needing to hold your own boundaries. And at other times, sometimes it's asking you to step up into your power, have your voice, hold your course. At other times, it's suggesting that you might be too rigidly holding on to a course. So I'm going to go back to the primary and central point here, which is something in your world is about to shift, or is indeed shifting. You're letting go of something. As you let go of it, and don't wobble. Everything, this is a reading of empowerment. This change is really meant to happen. So for some of you, this card is suggesting there might be I don't know, one of the little bit of an indication that you might be clinging to something that is really ready to leave your life, and it's time to let go of that and move forwards in a different way. For others, it's actually, again, that's the duality. It's not suggesting that you're clinging. It's saying go for it. You're really ready to step into your own empowerment here. Please don't worry. Please do not worry about this situation. And for some of you, it's like it's like you're torn between something that somebody else thinks you should do versus something that you think you should do. And I'm really wanting to encourage you to do the thing that you think is right. Don't wobble. Are you having a wobble? Whether a minor one or a major one, this is completely understandable. You are facing tough choices, but deep inside yourself, you know what you need to do. This card is here to validate your deeper knowing and the decisions you're making. As you move forwards, your anxiety will ease and you will refine your balance. Again, just because something hasn't panned out in exactly the way that you thought it would, just trust, go with this. Because this change needs to happen. This is like change from the inside out. And it's putting you, it's ironic actually, because it's putting you back in charge of your life. Whatever you've been heavily investing in that hasn't panned out, and whether this is a relationship, a circumstance, a venture, a creative project, whatever it was, it's making the way for you to step into your own empowerment. And this is going to bring, I'm seeing success here. It's really, really important. This is so typical of the energy of eclipse season. Eclipse season is so karmic. It's like, I always feel like there's a portal that we step into where we are accessing the past, the present, and the future. And it's this pivotal moment where things show up that help us to realign, get back on track and stay on course in terms of the things we wish to manifest for ourselves. This card's of Bless Your Past, a useful tool to help us to let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience, is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person that I am today. This is a reading that says it's time to laugh at life. You know, if you've got somebody around you who's a little bit critical or tending to view the shifts and the changes that you're making as negative, you know, it's kind of like I don't know, let's say you were, I'm going to give a silly example perhaps, but it's one that comes to mind. Let's say you set up a venture and you've decided to just bring it to a close. It's not a coat you want to wear anymore, and you know that you're making the right choice for you. But somebody else is looking in and saying, well, that didn't work out, did it? You know? And actually, it did work out. It gave you what you needed for the period of time that you were in it. And now you're ready to move on. You're ready to let it go. You're ready to move forwards. But a part of you might be quite susceptible to what other people say. And so not only are you shifting and moving forwards, but now is an opportunity to let go of a pattern within you where you place too much stock on what other people think you should be doing. It's time to step into your own power. Not to listen to somebody else's perspective, especially if it's negative. If somebody has a negative perspective, chances are they're struggling to take charge of their own life in a positive way, and watching you do exactly that means that they're coming in on a negative slant. It's a reflection of them and not a reflection of you. It's time to laugh at life, laugh at the way in which they are navigating the world. And just get in there, have fun and embrace this change. Whatever you do, don't worry, because your perspectives of worry in this shift and this change are actually unfounded. And even if for a moment you think, you know, I can't see the way forwards, I'm not exactly sure what the next step is, the next step is going to be shown to you. Do not wobble. As you move forward, your anxiety will ease and you will re-find your balance. Whatever turns your world upside down, or is turning your world upside down, it is making way for the new, and you are really being called into a space of empowerment. Do not allow yourself to, I can't say experience anxiety, because we do. You know, that's life, that's human. You know, it's what we do when we are in any kind of space of transition. But this reading is really an affirmation for you in terms of moving forwards into a very, very empowered and exciting new phase of conscious creativity. So given that we are also this week heading for a powerful new moon eclipse in Sagittarius, guys, spend some time this week reflecting on where you want to be. This would be a great week to really invest in creating a new vision board with a view to aligning some really clear new wishes and intentions, new moon wishes and intentions, when we get to this new moon on Saturday in Sagittarius, because it's primed for manifestation. It really is. Very pivotal time in your worlds. Yeah, laugh at life. Laugh at what's going on. Anything that arrives to turn your world or to cause you to change direction or causes a hiccup in your world this week, listen to it. It's bringing you really, really solid information. Do not worry. It is time to lean into the change and the transition. Doorways are opening for you for a more empowered future. Wonderful friends, tons and tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 2. Let's have a look at our runes. We have the rune of Gateway and the rune of the warrior, the spiritual warrior. This is suggesting that you that maybe there's a decision that you need to make, or you're needing to review something in order to decide what you're going to do next. The rune of the warrior speaks about discernment. So yeah, there's some, it's like decision making with, you're needing to find clarity. Let's have a look at our cards. So we have Otter Spirit, giving and receiving and leadership. We have the card of futility, the Ace of Cups and the Magician. 8 of Cups, 3 of Swords, Ace of Wands, 9 of Cups. Wow. Wow. There's a new beginning here for you guys. There's a very powerful new beginning. The energy of new beginnings is around you. And I think, I mean, for me, this is about love. This is about relationship. It's about the emotional aspects of love. Otter Spirit is interesting because Otter is, the energy is about, I'd say, the divine feminine. embracing love without jealousy, you know, the purity of love within relationship, that nurturing energy of the feminine. We, you know, irrespective of gender, we all have a feminine side to us. It's really interesting. I feel like you're needing to embrace the female warrior side of you, your female warrior. Yeah, it is the female warrior energy within. For some of you, it's like, if we think of the divine feminine as being very nurturing, very supportive, very loving, very kind, but kindness is also firm. It's kind of like, let's say if you love your child and they're throwing a tantrum because they want extra sweets, you don't give them the extra sweets. You know, sometimes kindness is about saying no as well as saying yes. There's something that there's been an energy of stuckness around you that is about to shift. And this is about you taking charge of that and making a firm decision with yourself, either to let go of something that's been holding you back, whether that's an attitude or a perspective. For some of you, it is about healing a broken heart. You know, for some of you, it's leaving something, you're leaving something behind that previously, it's the emotionality I'm seeing again here. I feel that you've been hurt in love and you're manifesting. You've been working on manifesting. For me, this does feel like a relationship reading here. It's about love. It's about new love. And new love is on the horizon. New love is around you. The energy of that newness, of that spark, that passion. It's almost as though you're moving towards that new love that you have been manifesting, whether that person is already in your world or whether you are walking towards them, literally. You've been walking towards them, you've been calling in that soulmate. It's as if, though, just under the surface, that hurt, that fear is there. That this could, so if you've met someone already and you're wanting to nurture that relationship into being, it's almost as though the fear of being hurt again has been blocking you. You know, when you meet someone new and I just think it raises all our insecurities. It's what happens, you know, we're human beings. It's as though, yeah, there's some aspect of that has previously held you back. Now, if you are calling in a soulmate and you have been manifesting this, you've either just met somebody or I think you're just about to. And it's time to let go of jealousy, let go of the fear that somebody won't be there for you, to let go of the fear and the hurt that came from your previous experiences. Everything here is looking good. It's just there's a part of you, this little niggle that says, I'm frightened. You know, I'm frightened of being in a relationship that's not balanced. This card here, giving and receiving. Give and take is different to giving and receiving. Taking and receiving are not the same. When we take, whoever we take from may or may not have chosen to give. However, when we receive, choice and respect are an integral part of the exchange. Let go of any need to take and embrace the harmony of giving and receiving. There's a really direct and very clear message here. You've had a previous experience in love where, and for some of you it's more than one relationship, where basically you've met takers. You know, they literally took from you. I think you entered into these relationships with love, with respect, with regard. I think you poured your very heart and soul into the relationship. And as I say, for some of you it's more than one. You've met more than one, a taker, literally. And it's like it's the drains and radiators scenario, you know. Radiators, if a radiator meets a radiator, it's fabulous. All you do is generate heat, passion, love, warmth, wonderfulness. But if a radiator meets a drain, the drain will drain them, literally, and until they are burnt out, worn out. And I think that's been your experience. You are a radiator, and you have previously engaged with a drain, and for some of you it's been more than one. You walked into it with, I think, innocence, with naivety. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, actually what you need to do is to develop your discernment, and the lessons that those people or that person brought you was a lesson in teaching you to be discerning. Now, the Rune of Gateway invites us to metaphorically climb to the top of a mountain and to sit down and to review all of our life experiences, everything that led us to where we are today, to who we have become, and to enable us to lean into a space of gratitude for the learning. And in that space of learning and gratitude and appreciation for everything that even the difficult people brought us, the difficult lessons, we can then step through the gateway. We're free of the hindrance of that. We can heal and move forwards. You have the right to be discerning. Leadership. We all lead by example, our words and actions presenting a role model to everyone that we come into contact with. This card asks you to take an ownership of your personal leadership qualities and to align your thoughts, words and actions with everything that you wish to see in the world. You're being asked to step up. I can see how hurt you were, and it left you with this feeling of despondency and futility within, this feeling that it'll never happen to me, I'll never meet the one, you know, and it'll never happen to me, nothing works out for me. It's left you with this, and I can really feel it in the pit of my stomach, literally, and it really is, it's like this really cut deep. But it's time to let go of this. I'm going to do some energy shifting here. The amethyst energy in this reading is about healing. So we're going to bring some of the amethyst crystals in, and we're going to put something down. We're going to give you the empowerment you need to, you've been walking away for a while now. You know what you're moving towards. It's just that this relationship or relationships cut so deep. And it truly is. It's time to leave this behind. It's time to review, be grateful for the learning that these people gave you, or this person gave you. Send them love and walk away. Let's be firm and kind. Remember, the nurturing energy, the maternal, divine feminine is, you know, not just kindness isn't wishy-washy. Kindness is very firm. We send them love, we walk away. Okay, it's time to let this go, to heal the broken heart. What they left you with was not a reflection of you, it was a reflection of their own emptiness. That's kind of what happens when we meet someone who's maybe very damaged. They come along, and what they do is they give us something of their experience, and they very often leave us feeling really empty, and that's what happened to you. But you know, that is a reflection of them and not of you, and now you are discerning, and you can say no and yes and no, and it's time to say yes. The Nine of Cups, you know, this is the love that you have been searching for coming your way, and you've either met someone already and you're having a wobble around it and you're fearful of it happening again, you're fearful of meeting another taker, or you know, or it's raised those jealousies, those insecurities if somebody hurt you through making you feel as though you were inadequate. You know, however that panned out for you in the uniqueness of your world, they've came into your world to teach you discernment and leadership. And you need not be afraid anymore, because you can make those choices. If you have not yet met someone, I think you are about to. And if you have met someone already, then don't allow those insecurities to get in the way. This is the relationship you have been desiring and manifesting. So we're going to do some energy shifting here. We're going to put the past behind you, because you are now manifesting the future. This is the love, the new love you have been waiting for. Look at the Nine of Cups. It's a space of celebration. It's time to walk away from this. Okay? So, in fact, let me just move everything back just to the order that it's been in, and I'm going to bring in some healing crystals here. Sit with the energy. I can really feel it in the pit of my stomach. Bring in the healing crystals of amethyst. Okay, here. Lovely. We're going to bring this here. It's time to leave the past behind. Whatever you were left with, it was not yours to carry. Okay? It's time to move forwards. Step into your own space of leadership. Nurture your own space of possibility. This was the emptiness you felt. It was never yours. It was never yours. In fact, I'm going to move these cards even further along. Let's really shift the energy here, because this is magical. This is happening for you. In fact, I'm going to move the Otter card here. That's where we want to be. And our runes here. Okay, now this is behind you. These cards are now behind you. This is no longer right for you. We are going to firmness, leave this behind. Oh, I can now feel, now that's lifting it. I needed a really strong line, a really strong boundary here behind. This is just gone, done, time to heal. In the past. You can be discerning. Review, lean into the learning. Gosh, that feels so nice and boundaried. Look at the clarity of the lines here of the crystals. It feels really good. This is the future, this is the past. There's a really clear division. This is just so tuning into that karmic element. It's that portal of energy around the eclipse season. We get to let go of stuff. We get present in the future in a space of empowerment, and we get present to the future we wish to create. I mean, this is the shift in the energy. We can see what we need to let go of. We step into the learning in the here and now, and the future opens up for us. Wonderful friends, if you have not yet met somebody, you are about to, I believe. And if you have met somebody, don't allow those past insecurities to get in the way. Everything here is indicating a space of real happiness, a space of relationship and love moving forwards into the next level, into the next space of happening. So trust, sit in the energy of possibility, because this is moving forwards. It's time for this to heal. The broken heart is going to heal and will heal, and this is a relationship that is going to support you in doing so. I mean, it's kind of like you're about to meet another radiator. That's where it's at. Wonderful friends, tons and tons and tons of love to you. Namaste. Welcome to reading number 3. We have the blank rune, and we also have the rune of harvest. This is a rune that suggests a new phase of life in some way. So we have frog, we have frog medicine. This is about transformation. Open the floodgates, unhappiness. Okay, Princess of Cups, 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands, oppression. We have Ace of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, 4 of Pentacles. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, I feel like this reading feels to me to be, it's about transformation. And I feel like it's almost about grieving. I feel like you need to grieve. You need to let go of something that has been literally oppressing you. That there's something emotional that has, it's almost like it's holding you back. There's something you haven't quite yet been able to process, or there's been an attitude almost around you, and it may be that that's coming in from outside of you. It may not be you yourself, but it may be that there's something coming in from outside of you that has stopped you from being able to grieve or to let go. You know, like people's perceptions. I mean, the example that's coming to mind is, you know, if we lose somebody, for example, if we lose somebody and we feel like we shouldn't, gosh, really interesting energy around this reading. I'll just go with the example that's coming through. So part of the grieving process is, I think, that if we've lost someone we love and then we start to live again, we reach a point in the grieving process where we start to live again, and we go out and we find ourselves laughing about something, and almost like, you know, whatever normal is, but we're being normal again. And it's almost as though we suddenly feel really guilty. It's like we shouldn't be feeling that, because it's almost as though we're doing the memory of the person we've lost a disservice by being happy. Actually, we're doing them a disservice if we don't allow ourselves to be happy again. Life is about celebrating. I know I've been saying in my readings, and thank you so much, because some of you have been sending the most lovely messages of goodwill and good wishes for me and my family. You know, we did have a bereavement in our family, and it's quite interesting how the life celebration of that person was a really magical day. It was one of the loveliest life celebrations I've been to. It was deeply moving and emotional, but it really honoured and celebrated life. And it was very permission giving, I think, for a lot of people, in terms of remembering that to really honour somebody we've lost, we must live again. We must live life to the full. There's that sort of flavour here. There's something here about honouring your emotions in a space of transition. Now, this may not be about a bereavement, but for some of you it might be. For some of you there may be a bereavement, or there may have been a loss. For some of you there is a loss of someone. For others it may be a loss of a circumstance, a situation, but you are in a space of transition. And this reading is really asking you to completely embrace life again. To embrace life, to embrace love. Now, again, for some of you, you may have, if you have lost somebody, and you've met someone new, it is actually time to embrace that opportunity. Don't cling to the past. The energy of newness, of new, is around you. A new phase of growth, a new phase of life, a new phase of love, a new phase of emotional vibrancy. Don't put yourself down. For some of you, there is definitely a letting go of something still going on. You're processing something. If you've moved on from a job or a career position, if you'd applied for something and you didn't get it, it wasn't right for you. You are in a new phase of growth, and you're in a new phase also of gestation. So it's kind of like you're not seeing the harvest as yet. It's like you're moving into this space of possibility. And you may not see the harvest, the rewards come in as yet, but there's a lot of excitement and possibility around you. It's like you can really genuinely manifest through the release of emotions. So open the floodgates. If we are unable to acknowledge and talk about our feelings, they stack up and build up like a pressure cooker, waiting to blow, colouring our ability to see clearly. This card calls you to acknowledge your emotions and find a way to release them. Write down your thoughts and feelings, and if needed, reach out for professional help. Unhappiness. Unhappiness is frequently the result of an inability to live in alignment with the calling of our soul. When this happens, our uneasy and challenging emotions are an indication that we need to listen to ourselves. This card asks you to have faith and to trust. Get still and meditate. Listen to the voice of your heart and open yourself to receive guidance. Guidance is coming. I feel like someone's going to actually give you a gift. It's like an emotional gift almost. Again, opportunity. There's an opportunity around you. There's an opening around you, a window of opportunity. And it's really opening a doorway. It is to new vitality in some way. Do you know, if there is someone around you offering you new love, even if this doesn't become a permanent relationship, they are still coming in to bring you vitality, life, energy again. It is really time for you to let go of something, to evaluate, to let go of something, to release something, to permanently say, do you know, it's like saying yes to life. That's really, it's emotional release and saying yes to life. That feels like that's the essence of this reading. I do think a gift is about to be offered to you in terms of an opening, and that opening sets you on a new pathway of gestation, of nurturing, and of bringing in the new. This is a really interesting card sitting here. Saturn in Sagittarius. Yeah, it's almost as though you've become locked into something. Again, the example I gave is the best one I can think of, you know, where we get locked into a sort of a belief system that says, I can't let go, or I shouldn't let go, or it's not appropriate, or you feel guilty for having fun, or you feel guilty for being alive, or you feel guilty for having something when somebody else doesn't. And it's like you really need to honour your right and entitlement to have, and to know that the more you have, the more you can share. Whatever you are processing, it's time to let go of that unhappiness. It's time to let go of the burden of something and embrace the new. Don't cling to the past. It really is. This reading is saying, process your emotions, release your emotions, honour your emotions, and then seize every opportunity that you are offered in terms of bringing in the new. I'm going to do a little bit of energy shifting here. I did so in the previous reading. It was really interesting, but very different flavour. I do feel for some of you, that there is a definitive sense of loss around, a sadness. But you know, frog medicine teaches us to honour transition and to honour the depth of our emotions, to honour our tears, to know that it's right to grieve. You know, grieving isn't just about losing someone, though I think for some of you there is a loss. Grieving is actually there in any transition. And I do feel it's time to allow yourselves to fully embrace that process and let yourself move into the new. Now, I'm actually going to bring in a different crystal. I'm going to try not to lean across the camera while I, excuse me, we might see the lead to my microphone. Yeah, I am going to have to lean across the camera. I apologise, but to do that, I'm going to bring in these black obsidian Apache tears. Now, these are all about grieving. I think they're extraordinary because for me, they have faces in them. Every which way I turn them, I can see another face. Now, there's a kind of a legend around these. So black Apache tears, obsidian Apache tears, they form in this shape. They are naturally formed. And it is said that there was a tribe of Native Americans that were running, I say running, they were being pursued, and the warriors, rather than be captured, jumped to their death. You know, they knew that capture would result in death anyway, and they chose to honour themselves. It's all about honour. And the women, their women folk came afterwards and cried, and it's said that as they cried, their tears as they landed formed into these stones. Now, obsidian is a stone of protection. It's a stone of journeying, shamanic journeying. It's a stone of, yeah, I mean, these are about grieving. They are about transition. I can always, as I said, whichever way I turn them, I see another face in them. They're very, very, very powerful. Black obsidian Apache tears. Now, this reading is honouring the grieving process. There's nothing negative about this. Frog medicine honours the grieving process. It says this is right, your tears are valid, it's appropriate. However, it's really, really important that we honour the gift of our tears, and that we don't use the process of grieving as an oppression. We use it as a space of honouring and celebrating life. So you're being asked not to hold on to something, to honour your Yeah, honour your emotions, honour your tears, not to use them as a form of oppression, but to use them as a form of empowerment. So we just sit with the cards as they are now and see where you feel it. I feel quite a weight across my shoulders. It's like I'm needing that coat that I've been wearing to be removed from me. It's as if someone's placed quite a heavy coat on my shoulders. So I'm wanting us to understand our emotions and the process of grieving and of loss and transition as a gift that helps us to honour and celebrate life. It is not something to wear as a burden. So I'm going to bring this card down here. I'm going to move the Apache tears here. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Grieving is about honouring and celebrating life. You know, in many ways, when we lose somebody, that teaches us to honour life, not to use life as a burden, not to cling to the past in any way, shape or form, but to honour and recognise that we can live life to the fullest in every possible way. And actually, if we lose somebody, that's what it's about. Death teaches us to live life with a greater richness and a greater appreciation. So very powerful. I would also just say, you know, I have a library, a free online library. It's the A to Z of emotional health. That's www.azemotionalhealth.com. In the library, if you are grieving or you're struggling with grieving, because grieving is a challenging process, it really is, but this reading is all about honouring transition and knowing that transition enables us to move into a space of gestation. When we're grieving, when we're in transition, we can begin to honour and renew. It's almost like our vows with life. But it is a difficult process. And in the library, for those of you that are new to me, I worked as a counsellor, a psychotherapist for over 28 years. Now, the library is a completely free resource. It will always be free, and there's basically a section on bereavement. There are several pages. The bite-sized pages about bereavement really are very absorbable videos that talk about the whole process of grieving and how to lean into that. So I mean, do check it out if you're struggling in any way. But this reading is an invitation to step up, to understand grieving as a way of enriching your life and not something to burden you. Understand your emotions as a gift. This is about transition, and this is the real key here. So as we shift and move into a place of transition, we'll bring the runes here. Oh, yes, that feels like the blanket that I was wrapped around my shoulders, the heavy blanket is now being lifted. You're moving into a new space of gestation and the promise of a new harvest and a new phase of life. This is asking you to honour the process of transition and embrace the new. The energy of new love is around you. It really, really is. This is really about embracing life, embracing vitality. And for some of you, if you have lost someone or a relationship came to an end, it's time to not sit and cling to that or the worry that gave you. If a relationship ended, that's also a bereavement. It's time to move into the new. Bereavement isn't always about death. Sometimes it's about, divorce or, the ending of a relationship. But this is time to lean into the new, embrace all that is coming your way, release your emotions and step into a space of new vitality. Very, very powerful reading. And of course, so appropriate to the transitionary period that we're in during this process of, the eclipse season. Very, very powerful times. Wonderful friends, tons and tons and tons of love to you. Namaste.